everyone, I have a memory planning video to share with you today. This week I'm memory planning for the week of the 27th of May to the 2nd of June, and I'm using this teddy bread kit from my shop. It came out a few years ago, I think possibly like 2 years ago, but the artwork is from Kittenish girl Jess, and I just realised I used the same fashion girl twice in the spread. I'll have to go back and fix that because that's weird. But this week I wanted to use the bread themed kit because I got a bread machine, like an automatic like bread maker machine thing. My friend Joanne mentioned hers. We have spoken about them before because I considered getting Tom one for, I think it was last Christmas, but I couldn't find like a one that I thought was like well priced enough and like had decent enough reviews, so I didn't actually get one. But I spoke to her about it before and then like kind of forgot about it. And then we have a group chat, and Beth from Beth Plans XO on Instagram is also in there with our other friend. And Joanne had mentioned that she had to replace her bread tin, like the tin that goes inside the machine. And she was like, they're actually really cheap on Facebook Marketplace, because for her to get a replacement tin, it was like over £100. But to buy a replacement, like a whole bread machine unit with the tin, was like £20 or something. So she was like, if you want a used bread machine, check Facebook Marketplace. So obviously me and Beth were straight on Facebook Marketplace, and within like probably like 36 hours we'd both got bread machines. So this felt like an appropriate kit to use, and I know Beth has also used the same kit, so we are twinning. We're actually twinning for a lot of June and maybe July, I'm not sure, which is funny. But yeah, I really wanted to use this kit. I had to print and cut myself a new one because I didn't have any left, and I didn't have like the box or the glitter add-on, so I thought I would struggle a little bit for functionals, but I did okay in the end. I pulled in a couple of florals from like the journaling floral range, but I was actually okay. I did go and like look for an add-on sheet like midway through filming and just couldn't find one, so I made it work. But I'm also using custom scripts from my shop. I'm not sure what font it is. I think it's one of the newer fonts, so it's probably like 23 or 25, something like that. And then I'm also using the spring foil pack in gold, but I didn't use the underlays. I've like saved them for another time, but I've used the full box overlays, the header overlays, and some of the icons and the little like decorative flowers. But I am quite behind in my memory planner, clearly, because it's August and I'm planning May, but I'm trying to catch up soon, so hopefully I will get that done. I've done all my scripts and I've like picked my kits and stuff, so I just need to find time to actually do the planning. But I'm away next week, so I've got next week's plan with me done, but then I really need to like try and catch up and like just get ahead, because I don't like being so far behind. I know it's like nice that you can do it in your own time, and it's not the same as like forward planning with stickers where you need to have everything laid down, otherwise it's like a disaster. But I don't know, I don't want to be planning summer in autumn, like really, not too much anyway. Although I've already had a pumpkin spice latte and it's like August, so they brought them out earlier this year so I was like, it would be rude not to. So yeah, this is the base, and just doing a little wiggle, although we're out of focus because I didn't put the autofocus back on for that part. But we are on to the plans. So on Monday I marked that I was really tired and slept in, and I really like to use the little moon and star doodle stickers for this. I used the like beige, grey, brown one, which actually works really well. I've got new doodles coming out this week as well. We're doing like Halloween ones, and there's like a few anytime ones, but like mostly Halloween, and some little Halloween samplers as well. So for context, this Monday is the day after Kat's wedding, so we were still away, and we'd stayed in the hotel, so that's why I was really tired, because the previous day had been the wedding, which was like such a long day. I marked that I had to borrow Emma's hairbrush because I forgot to bring mine, and I knew I was going to forget something. I didn't think it would be as major as my hairbrush, because like I had my hair done and there was so much hairspray in my hair, so the fact that I couldn't brush it out was like, oh my god. But luckily Emma lent me hers. Then we met Kat and Stuart for breakfast because they went to this like nearby pub, and they said like to the wedding guests, they were like, we're going to be here in the morning if you want to like come and see us before you leave. So we went there, and then they had an issue with, I think it was like I don't know if it was the whole kitchen staff or just the chef, but they were not able to serve food. They could only serve drinks. So I'd ordered food on the app. They had, like, I think it was a Wetherspoons maybe, but they, or some other pub that has an app, and I ordered the food, and then she came over and was like, I'm really sorry, like, we don't have food, do you still want your drinks? And to refund my food I had to go to the bar. So the whole point of like using the app so you don't have to like leave your table was just like, it didn't work out. But anyway, because we couldn't order food, we walked to the nearby Greg's and Starbucks. So I got a coffee and we got food from Greg's, and then we were able to like bring it back in. Like, we didn't really make a thing of it, but they couldn't really say anything because they didn't have food themselves. Although when we got back, I think they just started to serve food. So maybe we were just like impatient, but anyway. I then marked that we drove home, and it wasn't really like a bad drive. It's very straightforward from like mine to Cat's, so that's nice. And when I did it myself earlier in the year, I was really pleasantly surprised how like easy the drive was. Then I marked that we were reunited with Aristotle because he'd been with the dog sitter over the weekend, and well, was it the weekend? It was like Saturday, Sunday. So it was nice to see him, and he'd been really good. Like, he's not really, like, he's used to our dog sitter now anyway, but I really don't feel like anxious leaving him or anything, which is really great. Then I marked that we watched the Formula One. So the race had been on the Sunday, but we'd managed to avoid spoilers by some like miracle because it was a really dramatic race. I think Monaco always is, but I don't know, like all the news apps and like social media and stuff, because we look at Formula One stuff a lot, it then shows up on our like feeds. So we've just not been able to look at like anything at all on like Facebook or Instagram or whatever. But we managed to avoid all the spoilers, and it was a really like interesting and good race. And I marked that Charles came first. Then on to Tuesday, we had an admin day. Well, I had an admin day. I don't know what Tom did this day. Just sort of getting like my ducks in a row really, because I'd been away, and I hadn't planned to spend so much time on this day. But I started mocking up my stall for Plannerfest, and it just became like such a big job. I did it in Photoshop, and I was like measuring how big my things were and making like a 2-scale plan and rearranging things to try and like figure out how I was going to have it. And it was definitely worth doing. I didn't finish, and then I never finished it before the event, so I just like went to the event with my half mocked up stall. But it was still useful to have like a vague idea of what I was doing. But I marked that I had lost about 5 hours to this because that was not meant to be the like dominant task for the day. I then marked that I emailed Lucy, who owns the shop Capture by Lucy or Backdrops by Lucy. She does these really pretty like photography backdrops. They're on like a vinyl, and she made 2 custom ones for my Plannerfest store because we had to have like there was these like Velcro boards behind us, like vertical boards, and we had to cover them. So I got 2 made for that. And then I voice noted Joanne about our stall plans, so I just marked that with a little phone. I then marked that I filmed the plan with me for when we saw Olivia Rodrigo, which was really fun. And then we went to Sainsbury's, and I picked up some cayenne pepper because my dad had messaged me and he was like, have you heard of this? Like, he like spelt it wrong, and I like was like, cayenne pepper? And he was like, yeah, because I think it's good for your like rheumatics or something. So I mean, I don't think me or my dad are very big on like spicy things, but he's been having like a little bit here and there, and I just think it has improved his I don't really know what rheumatics is. Is it your joints? But he thinks it's working, so shout out to the cayenne pepper. But I got him one from Sainsbury's because I think he looked for it in a shop near him and couldn't find it. And then I got an email really late at night to pick my stall location for Plannerfest, because they did it in like it wasn't like first come first served. It was like a mixture of the order that you paid and the order that you signed up. They like did some kind of it kind of was first come first served, but I just don't understand how it was done. So I had to pick my stall location, and I had to do it like quickly because I was holding up the person after me if I didn't. So I'm like trying to cross-reference this like spreadsheet and this map PDF to figure out like where I want to be. And I honestly don't even think like location is that big of a deal, but like because I had to pick, like if I was just assigned a location, it would have been fine. Like I don't really care where I am, because I had to pick it. It felt like really high pressure. So I marked that I did that. on Tuesday night. So moving on to Wednesday, this was really funny. I'm trying to remember how it played out. I basically think one of Kat's friends or like family members who attended the wedding had uploaded some photos on Facebook, and there was one where Tom's like in the background or something, and it looks really funny. I can't remember what he's doing, but it's some kind of like, I don't know if he's doing like a funny face or something, but in one of the comments, some guy like referenced him and called him the guy in the background. And I just thought it was really funny, so I just marked that on Wednesday. Maybe it's one of those that you had to be there kind of things, because it doesn't sound that funny now I'm talking about it. Then I marked that I had a delivery of albums, and it was really good that this came on Wednesday because I had this fear that they were going to arrive when the dog sitter was here and we were away. So it was really good that they arrived the day after that, but these, well, a couple of days after. But these were large albums and I've been waiting for this delivery for ages, so it was really good to get them back. And then I marked that I restocked the floral albums using a little bow sticker. When I designed these, I thought these are going to be good for albums, but I don't really know why. They're like, to me, they're like a miscellaneous work sticker, but for some reason, like bows in my mind mean work, so I guess they're just my album stickers now. After that, I just marked that Ari was playing with his octopus. He's got this giant purple octopus and it's just really cute and funny, but I think the dog sitter must play with it with him quite a lot because he's never really that interested in it when it's just like us. But after the dog sitter comes, he's always really excited about the octopus. So that was cute. And then he plays with it on his own for a bit as well. So we started playing with the octopus more because clearly he likes it. I just thought he didn't really like it that much because he doesn't play with it. So yeah, I marked that. Then we got some post and I had some new post-its come from Amazon. I just ordered like pastel coloured ones. I think the colour name is something like, oh, I don't know what it's called. It's like, I can't remember, but they're really pretty like pastel colours, and there's like a light grey and they're just very like usable, but they're very sticky. My issue with post-its is they never seem to stick, but these are like super sticky ones and they actually are really good. So I would recommend those if you need sticky post-its. Then on Thursday night, I watched some personal ring setup videos on YouTube, and I just kind of wanted to see people with my Filofax because I still did not have my Filofax at this point, and I was like, I just need to see it. So we watched some of those on YouTube. Then on to Thursday, we made pancakes, so I marked pancake day, which doesn't mean actual pancake day, it just means that we had pancakes. And then I was so excited because my Monstera that I had previously killed, if you've been here for a while you'll know the whole Monstera saga, but I've repotted them into what's it called, like pon, I can't remember what they call it, what's the word, semi-hydro. I haven't got like the branded pon, I have Soil Ninja's semi-hydro, which is cheaper, and I replanted 3 of my Monstera cuttings into semi-hydro. 2 of them are surviving, one is thriving, one is surviving, and 1 died. So it's like that thing with the queens, divorced, beheaded, survived, divorced, beheaded, died. Is that it? I don't know. That's what my Monsteras are giving anyway. So I got a new leaf on the big one, which is now like new Brian, because the old one was called Brian before I killed it. Anyway, on Vinted, I found a fluffy bag for my Eras Tour outfit. It's like a purple fluffy one that matched the dress that I was wearing because I did the Lavender Haze outfit. So I marked that because I was really excited about having a matchy bag. I honestly wasn't really going to dress up for the Eras Tour. Like I was going to probably get like a dress, and then because Joanne, like, I don't know, just inspired me to go like full out on all the outfits and stuff, I was like, I need a bag. I also thought that maybe I would paint boots this day. I bought these leather boots off Vinted and they ended up like not really fitting me very well. But for a while I was like, I could paint them blue because they were black and ideally they would have been like sparkly blue, but they didn't really work out. But I was like, maybe I could. So I messaged Jenny and she was like telling me what kind of paint I could use, and I was really getting into it. Then I taught Tom how to pack orders because Kat suggested this before like an actual sale happened. She was like, when it's not that busy, like try and train Tom, because Tom has packed orders before, like when we lived in like the old house, but it's been a long time and he I don't really know, it's gonna sound mean, basically he just makes like a lot of little mistakes, and like so do I, but he doesn't know the shop like quite as well as I do. So when he packed for me before, he would pack the orders and then I would just check them, and it would almost be quicker if I were to just pack them myself, but we like delegated like different tasks this time. So I had him pull stickers, doodles, quarter sheets and transparent sheets because they're in like separate boxes. So he would kind of like prep those for orders, and then I would do like the kits and the bigger sheets and just like put them together, and that worked out really well, and that's actually how we got through the anniversary orders. So we'll definitely do that again. I've also done it for Christmas in July, I think, since, and that works really well because it's like a way you can help me but we're not getting in each other's way. Then I marked that I shopped for beads on Amazon, like friendship bracelet beads, because I wanted some more like interesting, like kind of bigger ones. I had a lot of just like multicolored ones, but I really wanted like some like sparkly ones and like some stars and some hearts and stuff, and I didn't really end up finding any on Amazon. I ended up getting some off Vinted because at this point I think maybe the like Edinburgh and the Liverpool shows had been, I'm not sure, or like some of the other shows had been, so there were people selling their beads, and I got like a bundle of some, and it ended up being like exactly what I wanted, as in like a variety of different ones. Then on to Friday, Tom went to the Co-op for me and got me a Costa, because like Friday morning I am always, without fail, stressing about new releases, trying to take photos, probably still printing and cutting something. Like, I don't know why I live this life where I just can't do anything in advance. But always busy on a Friday morning. So Tom got me a Costa, and it's one of those like machines where you get like the little receipt, and you scan the receipt, but like the self-service thing doesn't register that you've put your drink down. It doesn't have like a weight thing. So he put the Costa down somewhere, but then when he walked home, like he realised he hadn't got it, so he never picked it up. So he felt really bad about that, and he went and got me like another one from the actual Costa because he didn't feel like he could go back into the shop. So bless him. I marked that new releases were late. I think so this is because I tried to do something clever on Photoshop to speed up my photo editing and ended up breaking something. So I ended up having late releases that totally would have been avoidable, but it was my own fault because I tried to be clever. I then marked that I was waiting for the postman this day because I think my file of wax was out for delivery, and like I was sure it wasn't going to come, and it arrived at like maybe like 8:30 at night. We've never had raw mail that late. So I marked that the file of wax arrived, and I marked that I loved it, and I started to design releases this day. Not releases, inserts for the file of wax. And historically I don't really do very well printing and cutting inserts, but this time I cut the paper first. Like I trimmed the A4 sheets down into personal size sheets, and you can actually get three per A4 paper. And then you can just set your printer size, like the paper, to be personal insert size and print them that way. And I found that was a much more reliable way for me to get them like lined up front and back. So I didn't hate it, and I think I will continue making my own inserts as long as I can do it that way. If I have to like cut with crop marks and stuff, that's when I can't do it because I just hate using the guillotine for kind of really intricate things like that. So on to Saturday, I printed and cut the inserts, and I was really happy with them. I did include it in a studio vlog. I can't remember which one, but the file of wax is probably mentioned in the title. And I marked that I did it like by cutting the paper first. I then did some sale admin this day. I think this was like preparing for the anniversary sale, which would have been the following week, and Kat helped me pick some art. I think this was the tiered freebies, like for the releases and tiered freebies, because I can't remember. I did the exclusive anniversary kit, like the dopamine decor kit, which I actually used next week in the plan with me you're going to see next week. And then we just did normal releases as well. And then I marked, this was the first time that Joanne had mentioned the bread maker. Well, the first time like this week. So I put thanks Joanne in brackets, and then I marked that I'd messaged someone on Facebook, but they didn't reply, and they were actually really local to me, and they had a really like a nice looking bread machine, but they didn't reply. So I thought that I wasn't going to get one, and I was like really being quite dramatic about it because like I don't know, I needed it now. But they actually did reply, like I think it was a few days later, but I'd already got one at that point, and it turns out that her daughter was in labour, so I was just being a little bit impatient. But I ended up the next day finding another one, so it worked out in the end for me. Then on Saturday night I just marked that we played Stardew. So on Sunday I marked that we slept in, and then like as soon as I woke up, I was on Facebook Marketplace like looking for bread machines, and I found one about an hour away that was the same sort of price. It was about 20 quid, and they replied and it was available to be collected. So we drove to get it, and I was so excited. Like, I've actually made bread quite a lot. I didn't really know if it would be like a fad. Like, my grandma had a bread machine like when I was growing up, and she used it a lot, and they haven't really changed much. Like, if I think about how she made it, it's exactly the same. So I do think they're kind of a machine that has a lot of like longevity, like stands the test of time. So it didn't feel like too much of an impulse purchase, but also because it was secondhand on Marketplace, like if I didn't really use it that much, it's fine anyway. So I marked that we collected it, and then I had to get cash out at the co-op, but they didn't have any cash, and I think most Marketplace people like cash, so I was like, oh god, we have to then like try and find a supermarket near their house, and we didn't know the area, but luckily we found one, and I got cash out at the Tesco instead. Then I marked that I made my first loaf, and it was really good. I did cut it when it was warm, and you're not really supposed to do that because it still finishes cooking like after it's taken out of the machine. But it was still really good, and I was like, this is my life now. I'm just a bread girly. So love that for me. And then I also made cookies this day because I guess I was feeling very like culinarily culinary. Well, that's not a word. Well, it is a word, but it's not in this context. Feeling very domestic goddessy, I guess. But yeah, then I'm just putting a few of the like decorative flower like elements around. I like to put them in like the spare gaps or just on pieces of clip art where there's like a bit of solid colour or something, just to add a bit of extra sparkle. But that is the completed spread. Like I said, I didn't really use the underlays, so I've got like full sheets of those left, but I can use them alongside like my like leftover foil and stuff. I've put that in an album now, and then this is what I've got left of the kit. So I will probably swap out the other girl box because there's two of the same, and they're like both on the bottom as well. Like, I don't really know what my brain did there, but anyway, this is the finished spread. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!